Welcome back. Witness number one and number two. For continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry to Local Government Councils and related matters, I want to remind both of you that you are still on the oath before I hand over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon, Ms. Batchily.
Good afternoon.
Madam Mayor, you are welcome back.
Thank you.
Council, you may proceed.
Yes, I ask witness number two, the mayor, as to why is it important to have a procurement office?
Nena benegi siawla neka ya hamne ya neka nyar sere miteni. Nena legi lumoy lake moy lan moy important procurement office.
The Lita Hora Amoy is part of the council structure there, no?
One, the reason why you're supposed to have a procurement office is part of the structure of council.
So, and number two, I'm a million sas na mom lagay wala.
And number two, there is a tax which they themselves supposed to carry on this tax.
And so they are the unit responsible for procurement, correct?
Nena kon nyonya nyo hamne nyo responsible procurement.
Wow.
Yes.
You also know about the contracts committee.
Nena
You also know about the contracts committee.
Nena hamga tamit lui contract committee.
Contracts committee.
Wow.
Yes.
What is their role?
Nena lan mo is kawa.
For different, just name binung waherek different contracts, purchase items so hame council sohla nako, etc. and so forth.
As per the name, they are there to take care of the contracts and so many things in council. That council be there.
So the contracts committee oversees all procurement related matters in council.
Then a contract committee, you know, you have never said, let me have a see, wala luha them see procurement, wala doing a procurement.
Everything that has to do with procurement is administered by the contracts committee.
Leveling have ne talk and see if procurement, rep then kore administer, no kore administer, my contract committee.
Do you understand?
Then a hopefully, yes.
So you know that anything that has to do with procurement has to be done by the contracts committee together with the procurement unit, correct?
And I can't leveling up the procurement and cover up the foreign job, see contract committee, no procurement, no other talk, defer
I don't know, not
procurement, never talk defer logo. It has to be done by the contracts committee and the procurement unit.
Then I know contract committee and procurement unit. No, have the no defer.
morning wala purchase at bilang wanda.
You mean what to be purchased in a year?
Yes.
You know what? Yes.
And you have to have a procurement plan.
Nena, procurement plan.
No.
Yes. In 2019, was there a procurement plan?
Nena, at 2019, the procurement plan I'm now on for.
I cannot
remember. I think if he could help, CDC could help us.
So there was no procurement plan.
Nena, the family, I'm on procurement plan.
There was no procurement plan.
Nena, the family, I'm procurement plan. I'm to see 2019.
Not the family procurement plan. I'm 2019.
Procurement plan. I'm at 2019.
There was no procurement plan, Honorable Mayor, in 2019.
And I'm procurement plan at 2019.
And this is confirmed by, is highlighted by the compliance review.
Nena te so se te compliance review tamit lolu tamit wona nañ ko fofu dafa feñ fofu.
and confirmed by the CEO.
Nena te CEO si bopam mu dal diko deugural ne lu am.
CEO, is that correct?
Yes.
CEO mu ne waaw.
Now, why was there no procurement plan in 2019, Honorable Mayor?
Nena luta procurement plan amuton si ati 2019.
Plan you like the CEO, man, I cannot answer that.
For that, I cannot be able to answer that unless we ask the CEO.
Why can you not answer it?
Nena luta yaw mo loto to lolu.
Well, come be na mo nala jafe-jafe big amount. There was no procurement office for number one.
As I said, number one, the difficulties we faced that there wasn't or there was not like a procurement office.
And number two, that's purely administration.
And number two, it was purely administration.
Do you not have a role in making sure there's a procurement plan?
Nenda au yaw amlo wargal wala yon kung nakisne procurement plan up.
I'm now warugal see from day one.
Yes,
my role is to oversee, to supervise, oversee the council.
Yes, I have said that from day one that yes, I have the obligation because I'm there to supervise council.
Go ahead.
Why again, regular.
But again, whatever I am informed is what I know.
Did you request for a procurement plan?
Procurement plan. I cannot remember.
Why did you not request for a procurement plan?
Procurement plan. I cannot remember whether I did ask or not.
Mr. CEO, did the mayor request a procurement plan in 2019?
No.
Procurement plan.
The CEO has answered that you did not request for a procurement plan in 2019.
And the CEO in 2019 they so you up to get approval for the procurement plan.
I cannot remember that elected or elected because if I can remember elected mom he can prove that. Man we do when I see you what.
Yes, that is what the CEO said. But as I said for myself that I cannot remember whether I did or I did not. But maybe if at all he can remember that I did, yes, he can say so.
The law requires that there has to be a procurement plan.
Then the law procurement plan for.
The law requires that Mr. Bachelor, as a CEO, must administer the area council.
Then the law Mr. Bachelor CEO the fora administer council.
Law requires that the chairperson, the mayor or the mayors, as the case may be, supervises the CEO.
Nenate lua bibele nila terel ne yaw sa po pasi chairperson bi wala yaw mayor bi na wala ne kanyo hamne degin wala supervise CEO.
So that what the CEO did not do in accordance with law. What the CEO did not do in accordance with law. He should be instructed by way of a letter. Demanding that he does what the laws require him to do. Did you write?
I cannot remember that.
I remember anything concerning procurement plan.
I cannot remember writing to the CEO anything concerning the procurement plan.
So as it stands, we don't have evidence of a letter written to the CEO requested for a procurement plan.
Nena kon belegi amun evidence bi nga xamne bu melni letter li nga xamne bind nga ko jox ko CEO pour gis ne procurement bi mu am plan.
Why don't one go man ma remember fu ma waxe affaire procurement plan?
What I have said that I cannot remember where I have said about a procurement plan.
Did the council discuss the issue of procurement plan in 2019?
Then at 2019, that council was like to what that affair procurement plan.
In your general meetings, the council meetings?
Then I think general council meeting.
I remember.
I cannot remember that.
If there is no procurement plan, do you know that all the procurement done in that year would be unlawful?
Nena neke abu procurement plan. Da xam nga lol ne lol su amul da nga gis ne procurement yeb bi nga xam ne def ngeen ko at bobu du and ak loi.
How malolo?
I don't know that.
So if there is no procurement plan, the procurements that will be done in that year would not be lawful.
Nena su amul procurement plan da nga gis ne at bobu procurement bi nga xam ne yeb def ngeen ko du and ak loi ñu ko tere.
If you do not have a procurement plan, then you can't have a proper budget.
Nena te so amul procurement plan do na am proper budget.
Do you know this?
Na xam nga loolu.
Man ko doon dégg tey.
It's my first time to hear this. It's news to me.
Because the budget would, of course, factor in the expected expenditure for a given year.
Nee na da nga gis ne budget bi suñ koy liggéey ni ñu ko xayma wala fan koy tëral mooy expectation yi nga xam ne am ngeen ko si at bi li nga xam ne loolu ngeen war a defal.
And this will be informed by the procurement plan.
Nee na te lii lu ko war a leeral wala lu war a xibaar lii mooy lu ñuy wax procurement plan loolu rek moo mën a leeral loolu.
In relation to procurement.
Si bi nga xam ne mbiri procurement.
So this should have been enforced.
Nee na lii dafa war a nekk loo xam ne da ngeen ko fa war a taxawal mu foog ngeen enforce ko.
Do you know this?
Nee na xam nga loolu.
Na su fekkee ne duñ mën a am budget bu correct xam naa budget bi comme bu ñu defee si ministry bi ñoom dañ ko reject.
No, I know we don't have a correct budget. The time it was taken to the ministry, it will be rejected.
You have your budget and you go through your bilaterals. If they don't ask you whether you have a procurement plan, then you may escape on it.
Nena so ame sa budget bi nga dem fi nga xam ne foofu nga ko yóbbu lu ma wax bilateral nena su fekkee ne ñooñu laajte na affaire procurement plan. Nena mbir mi noonu la moo demee.
But just because someone doesn't do their job, supposedly,
Léegi waaye comme am na ki nga xam ne lu mu war a liggéey defut loolu liggéeyam bi war bu waree.
doesn't mean that the BCC shouldn't do their job.
Nena loolu tawut wala loolu tawut ba gis ne BCC warul def seen liggéey.
Now, most of the procurement that were done were single source.
Nena te soo seetee procurement yu bëri yi nga xam ne def ngeen ko foofu loolu yëpp nekk na loo xam ne lu ñuy wax single source.
We told Mr. Batchily that which was done in relation to procurement for single sourcing for the most part was against the law.
Nena de war nañ ko bàcc di fii ne am na yoon yoo xam ne yu bëri wala dépense yoo bëri yoo xam ne yu bëri def ngeen ko si single source nena loolu yu bëri nga xam ne àndut ak lu war.
Now, do you know why most of these procurement activities were single source, Honorable Mayor?
Nena na yow nga am nga xam-xam foofu wala xam nga lu tax ay procurement yu bëri yi nga xam ne ngeen def ko si single source. No.
Did you find out?
Nena da nga find out da nga ut be xam ne wala laajte. No.
Is there any reason why?
Nena da am na lu tax.
The council pure stressed of level legal administration la.
Council, that is the work of the administration.
How do you understand the supervisory role of the mayor or mayoress or chairperson supervising the administration?
Nena yow supervise bi nga xam ne daf la war wala yow mayor bi yaa war a def wala chairperson bi mooy seen rôle supervising nena waaw ñu kon yow loo si wala war a def si supervising boobu.
How do you supervise?
Nena naka nga dee supervise
Power.
Through CEO, what he do inform me.
Accountant.
Because I am not the accountant.
So they make accounts and people want them supervise.
And even if I go to the accounts and I say I want to supervise them,
Man,
I'm just joking to myself.
expert in procurement.
I am not an expert in procurement.
If the man say procurement, then you left them in the man small.
And if I enter there to say I want to find out what the procurement are doing, that means I'm fooling myself.
You don't have to be an expert.
Then I want to be expert.
You don't have to supervise the finance director per se in the strict sense.
Then I never to supervise for the top of the central of the policy level strict sense.
You don't have to supervise the procurement officer.
Then I never procurement officer guys supervise.
You don't have to supervise the director of administration, or let's say to supervise the cleaner.
Wala na ko tamit ne nga wala supervise the director wala na cleaner nga supervise cleaner.
The law says you supervise their boss.
Ne na law will mo sen njit nga ne mo sen boss ko nga wala supervise.
Person who supervises these people
Ne na ko xam ne ko ta mo supervise ñooñu
is answerable to you.
Ne na moom si yow la mo yow.
So when he supervises the director of finance,
then I also supervise the director of finance.
not Yo, Mr. Batchelly, he
Nena-
supervises Director of Finance.
Nena CEO supervise director of finance.
CEO supervises the other directors.
Nena CEO supervise the director.
CEO supervises the various units.
Nena CEO supervise various units.
It is his job
Nena liggéeyam
to make sure
pour gis ne
they do their job.
ñu dafa war def la liggéey dañuy def seen liggéey nu waree.
Now it is the mayor's or the chairperson's job
Nena léegi sa liggéey la mayor bi wala chairperson
to make sure
pour nga gis ne
that the CEO does his job.
CEO def na liggéeyam nu war.
So, for instance, we have Mr. Batchelly did not do so many things that he is supposed to do.
Nena comme suñ ko jëlee Mr. Batchelly lu mu war a def defu ko nga xam ne yu bëri defu ko.
That's the case. We have him. He
Nena
did not do so many things that he is supposed to do.
nena te gis nañ ko lu bëri li nga xam ne war na ko def defu ko.
Most he accepts.
Nena nangu na.
But he has to be supervised by the mayor.
Nena waaye moom mayor bi moo ko war a supervise.
Not for you to wait, whatever he brings, then you discuss. Whatever he does not bring, you discuss. That's how it works.
Nena nekkul ne yow da nga toog xaar ko lépp li nga xam ne isi na ko nga ngeen dal di waxtaan ci loolu lu mu isi doole ko doole waxtaan.
Men should request for things.
Nena yow lu am yaa war a laajte loolu.
Request for the audit report.
Nga laajte audit reports.
If there are internal audit reports, you request for it.
Nena su fekkee ne am na internal audit nga daal di leen di laajte.
You read, take action forward to general counsel.
Nga jàng ko nga forward ko si general counsel.
If there are compliance reviews,
Nena su fekkee ne am na foofu compliance.
you request, you write.
Nga bind ko request ko.
You take action or you go to general counsel and address the matter.
Nga jël action wala sa bopp nga dem si general counsel nga gis ne ngeen mën a waxtaan bi.
That is the supervision.
Nena lii mooy supervision.
If you wait for Mr. Batchelly,
Nena soo toog nga xam Mr. Batchelly.
if things go wrong
Nena mbir mi lu mu demee su demee li nga xam ne àndut ci.
and he's faulty,
Nena te moom daan na lu pare.
he may not bring it to you
Nena da nga gis ne loolu moom du la ko wax wala du ko isi si yow.
and you may not know.
Te yow doo ko xam.
I'm not sure whether we're on the same page.
Nena foog naa ne yéen ñëpp si benn affaire bi lañ ne. Nit kat.
Finela.
I think last time I told you that
That baby da nga like dara duñ la ko jox.
you write because of something and it will not be given to you.
And when ne
And where the most stop is that
Sabachin.
if I ask Mr. Batchelly and Mr. Batchelly asks the account or procurement or whoever he is affected
Joxuñ ko.
and he is not given to him,
Possibility na joxuñ ko. Anyway, man awma ko la mo na was
possibility is that maybe they did not give it to him. But for me, as I said, I did not get it.
But
and before the time I make some tenders,
And before the time I make some tenders,
I didn't understand, for example, a classical example my the budget.
you might understand the typical example is the budget.
Accounts, reconciliations, accounts of council,
The reconciliation accounts of council,
etc. You don't call like a
etc. All are requested what they do.
One other thing,
And I inform you that
site supervisors in your ministry.
the oversight supervisories are the ministry.
And ministry made it very clear.
And the ministry make it very clear that let me not write to them.
no, now let's not confuse things. Let's not confuse things.
Then I'm going to have me.
The ministry has a supervisory role
Then a ministry I'm not supervisory role.
where you write as mayor,
Then I so be there, I think I've been there many mail.
even where the case is, the procedure is wrong, where, for instance, the communication channel that we have in the law
Then I even in the people I'm even with them young and why they can allow me communication channel when I'm not going
is that the CEO is the official communicator with the ministry.
Then you know if my mayor my communication officers CEO my communication officers to the ministry.
So when you have a council decision, for instance,
Then a lady also I'm a council decision.
he is the one to write. He is the secretary. He is your secretary. He's the one to write.
Then I'm so bomb so how many secretary la mo ara bibda.
So when council passes a resolution,
Then a council so am to have sen halat mo resolution.
straight directly to the ministry.
They mo ta de kam bid directly to the ministry.
Actually is the secretary.
Then a law mi mo na mo bacheli mo na ka bid kan mo ara bidda mo secretary.
So, like you said last time, where you are frustrated, for instance,
And come I also working last time then I got frustrated.
where are frustrated
Then I think I'm there daga constraint.
and you had to write,
Then that day we got a business work I bid.
that, in my opinion, wouldn't be wrong.
Nena mom pour gis ci santé nekkutoon loo xam ne lu warut.
Because you have already exhausted all remedies.
Parce que da nga dem ba xat pare.
And the CEO had written numerous letters.
Te CEO def na ala bind na lettre yu bari.
So if you write to the ministry,
Nena léegi yow soo demee ba bind na ministry.
so it is as a matter of desperation.
Nena loolu mun na nekk loo xam ne loolu sax xalaat discrétion.
It would be as a matter of perhaps desperation.
Nena loolu mun na nekk léegi da nga dem ba coow da nga sisu.
But the official communication is through the CEO.
Nena waa soo seetee official communication normal channel bi mooy through CEO.
But that's not what I'm discussing now.
Nena waa nekkul ne loolu lañ nekk di waxtaan léegi de.
What I'm discussing now
Nena léegi nekk di wax léegi mooy
is the communication between council, mayor, and CEO.
Nena diggante ñettay council mayor ak CEO.
That's what we are discussing.
Nena si loolu lañ nekk loolu lañ discuss.
How does council supervise the mayor?
Naka la council supervise mayor?
How does the mayor supervise the CEO?
Naka mayor bi wana supervise CEO?
How does the CEO supervise the administration?
Naka la CEO wana supervise administration?
You may go.
Nena mo nga continue si loolu.
Explain your point explicitly.
I think what you have explained is very clear.
And yes, indeed, man, at the beginning, I'll see you look
And from the beginning, indeed, I told you or I informed you that whatever I am aware, I will be informed by the CEO. And if I ask him whatever he told me, that is what I will do. Assume that that is exactly what it is.
Some of the evidences you have named,
And I have some of the evidence that he himself, I do ask him or I ask him about the budget. But he was pushing somewhere, but he couldn't be pushing.
Bank statements, bank reconciliation of council.
The bank statements, the bank reconciliation of council. He pushed until the last minute, but he could not be able to lay hands on it.
Do you have those steps?
And
then about I'm gonna let you.
in the
Yes, I've got them.
So finance director carry money for
and financial director told us that later he cannot be able to prepare them.
Standard them hire need to
But later I understand that we need to hire somebody to come and prepare them for us.
Communication channel.
And when if we come back to the communication channel,
it is so frustrating.
It is very frustrating.
Where you explaining it.
The way you explain things.
That is the same thing don't you ministry.
That is the same thing that we are told by the ministry. If I see Bachila and I want to involve him.
And I have a complaint against Bachila.
And I have a complaint against him.
So what the ministry is telling me.
And what the ministry is telling me. That is Bachila who's supposed to write to them.
No. So let me maybe.
No, I'm not saying what you said, lead council. I'm saying the ministry. The ministry is telling me don't write me.
I'm telling you what the ministry told us. Yeah, it's for them not to write to them.
Let me assist you on that.
Then how will you
see, general council, you have general meetings?
Then a general council, they're going to have general meetings.
Yes.
You have the power to summon the CEO to come and answer to council?
Then I'm going to summon CEO when you see council. Yes, he's always there all the time.
You have the power to demand that he provide some evidence in relation to things you want. For instance, if the council wants him to present, to answer to an internal audit report, you have the power for him to explain and ask questions.
Then I'm got dollar to obviously local sapalum general council I'm like like the commodity to explain well I get to have the internal auditing I'm joining but I'm not told like the go. Yes.
Good. And when you have the power to make your decisions, your recommendations, for instance, right?
Then that's what they may get one of the recommendations. More is that living out the recommendation.
You have the power to make recommendations and pass resolutions.
Then I am got dollar to get the recommendation. See, no have the resolution you have no join.
So in this sense, Mr. Boja, it's not her per se individually. I am now talking about the general council. Now, when general council passes resolutions, and there are damning allegations against the CEO, to the Service Commission.
Nena li da ngeen ko war a yóbbu wala dafa war a dem si Service Commission.
Lead counsel,
Lead counsel.
I hope you understand some frustration.
I want you to understand my frustration.
Counsel, I said, for again, only meaningful.
I said here over and over, maybe if at all, only if you don't believe in what I have said.
Thank you need to the ministry.
We have cases that we used to
Fight the ministry directly to the local government service commission.
send to the ministry. Well, of course, we cannot bypass the ministry and send it to the local government.
Have see where they tell us, sell letters in local binda the bypass you.
Now, I have evidence that they said to me that I cannot write my letters and bypass them.
We are discussing the same thing.
Then I'll see when affair will make a
So we are discussing the same thing.
they will take it. Then I better affair like water.
That was happening.
Then I'll go be held.
Your statement on that part is true.
Then I singalinga one, wala linga yep silo yep no abra degala.
Your statement on that part
Then I linga was in Bilbo.
that the PS was insisting that communications for the commission must pass through him.
Ngam ne wanga ne mom dafa taxawal ak deggal ne communication bet bi wara lu dem si ministry dafa wara jaar ci mom.
That is true.
Nena lolu am la.
We have seen that evidence from other area councils.
Nena gis nañ lolu evidence yu bari feñ na fi si area council yu bari.
I had told you the permanent secretary testified.
Nena te wax na la dafa ko waxon ne permanent secretary ci bopam mom dafa tok fi mu wax testify.
We formed the permanent secretary that is wrong.
Nena te fi wax nañ ko fi ne yoon bobu nena yoon bobu dafa wrong ne ko yoon bobu.
That communications meant for the ministry are for the ministry.
Nena communication bi nga xam ne pour ministry boobu pour ministry la.
Communications for the service commission cannot, should not, and must not pass through the permanent secretary.
Nena communication bi war a dem si commission service commission bu warta pass si secretary bi warta jaar si
It is true they were insisting that it must pass through them.
nena te loolu dëggal ñoom dañ taxawal dëggal ne lépp li nga xam ne dafa war a dem foofu dafa war a jaar si ñi.
We have passed.
Nena waaye loolu passé nañ loolu.
Of course, we have agreed with you
Nena nangu nañ si li nga wax
on that part.
si mbir boobu.
And I had said this had been strengthened by the current case of KMC and of course the ministry. Of course, Senator Mandes, I think, was there.
Nena te seete li ko dëggalal mooy KMC seen case bi nga xam ne am nañ ko ak Senator Mandes.
That the communications for the service commission cannot and should not pass through the ministry.
Nena loo xam ne communication bu war a dem si service commission warta jaar si ministry.
So if you were forced to do that,
Nena yow suñu la forcé wala suñu la forcé pour nga def ko.
I hope the commissioners understand.
Nena xam naa ne.
I hope the commissioners understand. I'm sure the commissioners understand.
Nena xam naa ne commissioners yi ñooñu understand.
That is for communications that are supposed to be through the commission ministry for the commission.
Nena loolu na nekk communication boo xam ne bu war bi nga xam ne dafa war a nekk ministry ak commission.
That's not what we are discussing now.
Nena lii lañ nekk waxtaan.
I am saying,
Nena moom lu ma wax mooy.
Mr. Bacheli, as the CEO,
Nena Mr. Bachili comme mooy CEO.
is acting under the direction and control of the country.
Nena moom lu ma def yëpp dafa war a nekk loo xam ne control action bi nga xam ne control yëpp ko si council la bàyyi.
Mayors being the head of country.
Nena te mayores yaa war a yaa nekk yaa xam ne yaa nekk njiit council.
It's the work of the chief executive officer.
Nena yaa war a supervise liggéey chief executive officer mooy CEO.
Says
Nena lu amee ku ne.
a chairperson shall be the political head of local government in a council.
Nena chairperson moo war a nekk njiiti political local head si council.
Preside at council's meetings.
Muy preside fekkee si council's meeting.
Supervise the general administration of the area council.
Muy supervise general administration si council.
Supervise the general administration of the area council.
Nena supervise the general administration of the area.
So my question is,
Nena lifetime is mooy.
are you familiar or aware of a GPP, a Gambia Public Procurement Authority compliance review for every year? Are you aware of this?
Nena mbaa yëg nga GPPA seen compliance rule every at bu nekk.
Are you aware that they give their compliance review every year?
Nena mbaa yëg nga ne ñoom dañ dee joxe at bu nekk seen compliance review. Yes.
Now, do you have access to this compliance review?
Nena ndaa la ko dam ngeen am access pour gis ko pour am ko.
Wow, then could they discuss?
Yes, we do discuss about it.
How?
Nena naka.
Bacheli dina go into small office, you work done.
So actually, used to bring it, or we will bring it to my office. We discuss about it,
Sometimes in a see consultant.
and sometimes he will inform council.
Why sometimes?
Then I sometimes when I never talk to Muneka.
How many money can see every council meeting?
No, you know, I am not present in every council meeting.
Yes, but if, for instance, there's a council meeting and you're not present, you will be aware what they have been discussed by way of minutes.
Then why so I council meeting so ko fake out sa why dang wala dang ham dal lang wa hot for basket si minutes here. That is true.
So what June?
That is not better for me if not to get lost
My head.
off my head.
Time.
I cannot remember. This is why I say sometimes.
Now, when you discuss this compliance review with Bachelor, is it just the two of you or is it discussed with the management as well?
Then I think I want to Bachelor si Birmin then I nyari wala si management.
What do they talk management meeting?
I don't sit in a management meeting.
Now, how do you discuss that? With who?
Nakang discuss in yang Bachelor akan.
Not going this to my attention.
He can bring it to my attention.
We discuss it together.
Whoever he found there,
Why
we can discuss it together.
Not in management.
But not in management.
Mr. Bachelor,
What they talk?
Mr. Bachelor,
Yes.
do you discuss this with the mayor? All the compliance reviews?
Yes, I normally used to hand them over a copy to see the report from the GBB.
Now, do you discuss it with her?
Yes.
Have a discussion where you go through the compliance review with the mayor, page by page, and discuss it issue by issue.
No, we never used to go page by page.
Do you have a discussion about the compliance review? The contents.
We look at the general situation.
What is the general situation?
That the compliance level is a bit low.
So you turn to the last page.
Pardon?
You just turn to the last page where they have the percentage, and you just discuss that the general percentage is very low for this year. So all you do?
Yes.
But you don't discuss the content.
No, we don't discuss the content page by page.
Okay, Lord Mayor, the commissioner, the CEP says that you don't discuss the content, only the percentage regarding the compliance percentage.
Then I see you one and the dollar discuss the content. Why you have the loom over? I learning and the water more very percentage.
I can't remember this.
I cannot remember exactly what do we normally discuss.
For low or high.
Whether it is low or it is high.
Why have sometimes the content thing have more than
But I know sometimes the content that is in it.
Then I guess the complaining.
I will see that GPP have complained about it.
Pay one
Or GPP have said this.
So what time man one man in my league didn't go try the fake one or didn't go try the fake one.
So he discussed with me, he advised me or we advised each other to say, let us do this way or take this.
So what action do you take after you are given the compliance?
Then I yaw lang mo sa Hawaii, so that may be na compliance.
Back to 2019.
Coming back to 2019.
I think you are discussing 2019.
Right.
Well, I think we are still on the discussion of 2019.
Problem you have the mom the council among
I told you the constraints, the difficulties that council have.
For this office.
To have this office.
And the 2019 review, we have the mom like
and the 2019 review that they brought.
We have the mom that discuss right now.
And the one we are discussing right now.
Put in mind is activities that happened in 2018, if I'm right.
And let us put in mind that these activities had happened in the year 2018.
I stand to be corrected. No laugh.
I stand to be corrected. That is
yes, some will be 2018.
Then
wow, I'm not 2018.
And the whole of 2019.
And 2019.
So for now time, we have office was not established.
And I think that time the office was not established.
No,
do you know Ida Njai?
Then I'm not going to know Ida Njai.
Very well.
Very well.
I have exhibit LGCC/BCC/IN/001.
Exhibit.
I will show it.
Yeah, go on.
This letter is dated 2014. Is that correct?
Then a letter be 2014. Yes.
Now, What was she employed as in 2014?
Then in 2014, ñoom buñ ko jëlee liggéey lan lañ ko kii assistant procurement officer.
Now, you have Ida Njai in 2014 as a procurement officer.
Yes.
And she was there throughout.
Then no move forward throughout.
In 2018, we have Sankung Fati.
Then at 2018, kuñ am foofu mooy ñëw Sankung Fati.
We also have Sankung Fati.
Then am nañ foofu Sankung Fati.
Procurement actor and admin.
Procurement admin.
Yes. So, for instance, Ida 2014 was there when you took over in 2018. Ida was their CEO, correct?
Yes. Was in the council, yes.
Now, not only was Mr. Hafner there, Ida was there in 2018 and as a procurement officer. Of course, there was a period that she was removed there and moved to the raid room, which she complained about. And even wrote a letter to the permanent secretary. But the point is, at least you have 1 or 2 people who were working in this unit in 2018. Correct, Mr. Bacchily?
Yes.
Now, we also have Sankung as well. Sankung wrote a letter to the Chief Executive Officer on the 14th of February 2018 in relation to the subject is the unprofessional handling of procurement affairs in BCC. Right? Sankung was, how long was he there, Mr. Bacchily?
I don't remember really the titulation. I don't, because the thing is, he was not brought in as a full-time staff.
Yes.
Which clearly indicated, the continuous struggle we were having with the procurement.
Who brought in Sankung Fati?
He applied for internship, I think.
Right.
I think that was it. And I think after subsequently, whether he was given a contract also or he remained an intern, I really have forgotten.
Be it as it may, he was in the procurement unit. Correct?
Yes.
Now, my point is, Honorable Mayor, that there were people, 2 in the procurement unit during this time.
In
fact, Ida's transfer, I believe, was in 2019. Sorry, in 2020.
2020
when she was written to by the Chief Executive. And the letter was copied to the Lord Mayor BCC. Rates Manager BCC. Chairman Establishment Committee. And Chairman Local Government Service Commission.
And Chairman Local Government Service.
And the letter reads.
And let me
please inform that you are deployed from the procurement unit to the rates unit.
Then you go procurement unit, the audit unit.
Audit. Rates.
Excuse me, rates unit.
With immediate effect.
Then legally we have also.
This will allow the management to better manage procurement matters.
Then management be manage procurement matters.
Pending the proposed recruitments to be carried out by the Local Government Service Commission.
Then pending proposing the Local Government Service Commission.
People occupy this office.
Then office go the farm on the
or were you not aware of this letter, Lord Mayor?
Then letter be yellow letter.
Okay, mangen or this letter for the first time.
It's my first time to see the letter today.
Sanku manfekuma Sanku with procurement by the city council.
I did not found Sanku being a procurement officer in Banjul City Council.
And I think the CEO made it very clear for you.
And I think CEO have made it clear.
When I be manjuwe, Dauda has managed for fake one.
He said when I came, I found one called Dauda.
Fake for the half now. Why more don't get procurement? We want procurement officer. Why don't you come give back?
Although I did not found Dauda there, but he was the procurement officer at the time.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
He was sick.
He's wrong.
Then I go to for you.
Because the documents we have shows that Mr. Bacchily is wrong.
And I one and Mr. Bacchily for you.
Man, honestly, I'm allowed to have.
Lead counsel, honestly, I'm telling you, I will tell you or telling you what I know.
Man ma that some gentleman who we agante win back stickers. For man I'm telling for that 1 month or so.
That gentleman, I did not stay long with him at Banyu City Council. I don't think we even spent a month there.
I remember you on a time advice, no?
I remember he came one time to advise me.
That is for another day.
As for another day,
After Mudem.
he left.
Ida was there.
Ida was there.
Whether Ida was a qualified procurement officer or not, I don't know.
Whether she was a qualified procurement officer or not, I did not know.
Later, the
letter that you showed me today is my first time to see.
And the memo I gave you the last time, after being a memo,
and I tendered a memo last time when I was here.
I respectfully allow Maritko.
I respectfully want you to allow me so that I can read it.
And this Lulu is all geared towards the case of Ida Njai.
And that is all geared towards the case of the said Ida Njai.
Can we show the witness her exhibits that were tendered?
For man,
previously.
For me,
procurement officer.
I think that I'm thinking that Ida Njai, I personally make her to be a
Senior procurement officer.
Senior procurement officer.
Exhibit.
And that is exhibited.
Exhibit be more green. Green, paper green.
And that exhibit is having a green paper.
What we do,
then
at 1 we go on break.
Then one we didn't break.
We'll get the exhibit out.
Then I exhibit
and you may even have time to go through it during the break.
Then break time
so that you identify the exhibit itself. And we will give you the opportunities to go through it. Is that okay?
Yes. So
It was February 2018.
This was February 2018.
In time we know how we cancel.
At that time, I did not get.
But in 2020, I'm talking about 2020. I didn't the letters written by Mr. Bachelor.
Then
2020.
2020 la morning, I didn't Mr. Bachelor over
Deployment.
Yes, I saw that deployment letter.
I'm talking about the professional handling of procurement affairs. We keeping that.
Talking about the professional handling of the procurement unit that was written by SAP.
The reason why the letter is relevant
then I looked at letter we go up further.
Is to show that there were people in the procurement unit.
Then more letter they want to think that procurement unit.
Not that the letter was written at your time. But that the letter is in 2018.
Then a letter be more 2018
showing that there was also another guy called Sanko.
Then a bobu one and I'm not funny about Sanko.
Is it Fatih? Fatih.
Fatih.
Yes, who was also in the unit. Please go through this letter. It appears as if you have seen it. LGC/BCC/RL003. And may I please have the exhibit that I gave?
April 2021.
This is April 14, 2020.
First confirm whether that's the exhibit you are referring to.
I think so, yes.
I said
Thank you very much.
From
the permission of the chairperson, the witness wants to read the exhibit.
From Lord Mayor to the Chief Executive Officer, subject Ida complaint of maladministration against the Banyu City Council. In reference to the letter received from the Office of the Ombudsman on 15th February 2020, Ida who was appointed as Assistant Procurement Officer in June 2014 by the Banyu City Council and later promoted to Procurement Officer in 2018 by the Lord Mayor of Banjul as part of the restructuring process after the local government elections in 2018. However, she reported that she was transferred to the rate office in July 2020, even after she explained to you that she does not have experience in this sector. Idengay has raised the following grave concerns, which I need your immediate response. You tried to bribe her to sign a fake account committee I repeat that again. You tried to bribe her to sign a fake contract committee minute on 24th June 2020, which she did not do. You harassed her in several instances. You gave her an indefinite suspension on a half salary for allowing the GPA came for their annual compliance and audit review on 19th October 2020 as the only procurement staff at that moment. In light of these serious allegations that have been made, I will need you to respond to these matters as they are in violation of our work ethics and code of conduct. The Banjul City Council should be a safe working environment for our staff, where staff are free to execute their work as per their terms of reference without facing challenges. I will need to respond to these items by Friday, 14th October 2021. ROHEY MALICK LOWE, CC to the Office of the Ombudsman, Local Government Service Commission and Fire. So I'm saying this because later my one letter again.
This is why I wanted this letter to come.
If you look at the letter,
If you see the letter that I wrote,
I have this information like Idengay, who was appointed as Assistant Procurement Officer in June 2014.
I have this information that Idengay, who was appointed as
directly from the Office of the Ombudsman,
Procurement Officer directly from the Ombudsman, as what I'm saying.
And then if you look at the Banjul City Council and later promoted to Procurement Officer in 2018 by the Lord Mayor of Banjul, and reading directly from the Office of the Ombudsman,
what they wrote to me from the Ombudsman, that is what I wrote to Bacchily for him to me what had happened. I had that.
The witness either talk na fee.
I had the witness came here.
And what leader, you
and I said, this is why I said, if you are a leader, there are certain many things you agree to it. And there are many things that I only heard of it from here.
I understand the CEO nam complain
I know CEO was complaining a lot about Ida. And many things when he seated here, that was the time I had it.
And to be my letter 2021.
And when I was writing this letter, this was in the year 2021. If somebody said to Ida that Mayor is not aware of this, he will not believe it.
Let me have that. The CEO testified.
Then the CEO
in his last testimony.
Then
he said everything that is taken at council level is discussed with the mayor, correct?
And if
you have management meeting, you always send copies to the mayor.
Yes.
Then so I'm a management meeting
Council. It's hard for me to do this with Bacchily.
It's very hard for me to bully with Bacchily.
Why? I wouldn't say anything here. Bacchily, so I cannot defend it.
Anything that Bacchily said here, if at all I cannot be able to defend it, I'll say yes.
I don't miss doing this with Bacchily.
I don't?
I don't miss doing this with Bacchily.
I don't do this with Bacchily.
Mr. Bacchily, send me
paper B.
The reason why I pull out this paper, he said he informed me that everything he used to inform.
But it's a memo that I'm writing to him.
But this is a memo that I wrote to him.
But it's been to Mr. Patrick.
I'm not writing it to Mr. Patrick. I wrote it to him.
And to my surprise, I told him.
And to my surprise, I told him.
Let me ignore that part.
Yes.
Did Mr. Bacchily respond to your letter?
Then Bacchily see the letter.
I cannot remember him.
I cannot remember him responding.
Why is it the case? So do you keep a file in the office, at the mayor's office? Is there a file for all communications to the CEO or outside communications that are written, when they are written, and then whether they are correspondence received?
CEO office, excuse me, mayor's office. I'm going for file and the communication.
Wow.
Yes.
Man, Bachili suñ diggante sax bindante moo fa bariwut.
My writing at Bachelor is not much.
Pour ne every time binda man maa Bachili loolu.
To say,
Only Bachili sax.
to say,
Gisee ma dem text ma pen bi ma binda rek. Xamal ne I have
to say we write each other or try to write, it's not very fluent. It's very rare. Not if it only Bachelor.
So, Bacheli, let me read this again to you. The Lord Mayor wrote a letter addressed to the Chief Executive Officer. It says, in reference to the letter received from the Office of the Ombudsman on 15th of February 2020, Ida Njai, who was appointed as Assistant Procurement Officer in June 2014 by the Banjul City Council, and later promoted to Procurement Officer in 2018 by the Lord Mayor Banjul as part of the restructuring process after the local government election in 2018. However, she reported that she was transferred to the rates office in July 2020, even after she explained to you that she does not have an experience in this sector. Ida Jai has raised the following grave concerns, which I need your immediate response. You tried to bribe her to sign a fake contract committee meeting on 4th June 2020. You harassed her in several instances. You gave her an indefinite suspension on a half salary. In light of these serious allegations that have been made, I will need you to respond to these matters as they are in violation of our work ethic. Now, Special, did you receive this letter?
Yes, I think I hear it.
Did you respond to it?
Not too sure.
Why? The ombudsman raised these issues.
Yeah, but then the letter that I received, or the memo that I received, came from the mayor, not directly from the ombudsman.
Yes, but ombudsman raised all these issues.
Yeah, and then all these issues that were raised there, I had discussed it with her verbally.
Verbally.
I believe it's a convenient point. We will come back. It's already one. And GRTS has already taken it. We rise.